All right. It is indeed a very, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this edition of The Tackle. It is the 25th of October 2022, tarehe 25 mwezi wa 10 mwaka 2022. Natumai kwamba uko salama, umeamka vizuri and you're ready to start your days. The State of the Nation edition of the 25th of October 2022. This is Gerald Bitok, the State of the Nation edition, 25th of October 2022. As usual, when you join in, please like when you like. We get to know that you're watching us. And please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. It is the State of the Nation edition of the 25th of October 2022. Na tuko na mgeni Dan KIPKORIR RUTTO. Mbona unajua Dan. And we still giving every other candidate an opportunity as well. We have a by-elections coming up in ELGEYO, MARAKWET, and we're trying to give all the candidates an opportunity to speak their agendas. We had Tim Kipchumba was in. We had Kim was in again last week, and we'll be having Cheska Kiblagat probably due to go next week. So we're having Cherotich Sei coming in as well to speak into the agenda of ELGEYO, Marakwet County. It's a race that is set to replace Kipchumba Murkomen, who was appointed the CS recently by President William Ruto. Then we'll also have a wrap-up in Eden. Atatuambia tutafanya pale Eden a wrap-up. All the candidates and they speak the agendas of the people of ELGEYO, Marakwet County. So please, when you join in, when you like, we get to know that you're watching us, and please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. Kama kwa hili lazima tuembele za Mungu, alafu tukirudi basi tunajua ni vipi. Dandan, utatuombea. Ulienda Sunday school?
Yeah.
Ulienda Sunday school?
Yeah.
Aya, tuombea.
So, our Father who art in heaven, we come before you this morning. I want to thank you for this opportunity that you've granted us to have a discussion, oh Jehovah God. May you give us wisdom, understanding in each and everything that we'll be discussing on, oh Jehovah. We thank you for this morning, and also we bless the entire show. For I pray this short prayer, trusting and believing in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Kuna ile ya hii ama? Labda ni Mkatholiki tu aliza na
Okay. Church Kenya. Mimi mtu ya AIC Kenya.
Mtu ya AIC Kenya.
Yeah.
Mimi nakuanga dunia hiyo. Na basi. Na hiyo ni maendeleo. Tuende anaweza kuamka mapema. Please come on, please let us know where you watching us from as well. Where are you watching us from this morning? Where are you watching us from this morning? And have you shared the broadcast? Where are you watching us from this morning? And have you shared the broadcast? Is there don officer mkuu naomba unifollow na kuamini. Haya basi na kufuata. Lakini naona kuna jina mrefu ndugu. Manu wa KIPKORIR Nairobi niko ndani. Chepkero anasema Nairobi niko ndani. Asante sana. Larry Kimonori, good to see you my brother. Asema pema ndio best. Tuned in from Jason and Contractors Eldoret office. Asante sana ndugu yangu, kesho nitakuwa na kijana huko. Larry Kimonori, this is the best kickers contractor in North and South Rift. Kama unataka kujenga nyumba, tembelea Larry Kimonori. Ni kijana nambari 1 kwa mambo ya ujenzi wa manyumba. Tuonane kesho asubuhi Larry. Joseph Makumi Munga, Eldoret, getting you loud and clear. Asante sana Papa's President Geoffrey, tuned in from Webuye. Asante. Matthew Kanda watching from Marsabit. Asante. Rona Magut Kevin niko ndani. Asante. Agnes Lima, good morning, watching from Embakasi. Onyando Wycliffe, good morning to you. Very nice media, good morning to you, very nice media. Ni mtu pia wa Morning Glory. Thank you, good MC Kalia. MC Kalia has a new show, and it's called Morning Glory by MC Kalia. Or a choice of name. I don't know. Thank you so much. He's been a great fan of ours for the last 2 years. MC Kalia chama amenokishwa at Kettle Dip. Na ikafika mahali akaniambia hata mimi nimepata inspiration, and he said he was going to start a show. So MC Kalia has a show. It's called The Morning Glory. So if you can find your way one of these mornings, uende umsikia anasema nini pale kwa Morning Glory, alafu basi tuweze kujua kuna kaa vipi. Thank you so much MC Kalia. Good to see you, very nice media. Carbon Sarah niko present watching live from Eldoret. Asante. Lucy the DJ Kalenjin guys don't know how to say you are handsome. They say kwera uwezi kosa girlfriend. All right, let's see that DJ. Millicent Tirapol there from Diaspora. Good to see you this morning from Australia. And some good morning, Team Tackle. Good morning to you. Alice Wedima, good morning. Onyando Wycliffe, good morning. Watching live from 045 Kisii branch. Sasa sana watu wangu wa Kisii. Kisii inatembea pia. I'll be coming to Kisii in the next 2 weeks. So I've been listening to see kina Kenyanja Vincent, to see kina Onyando Wycliffe hapa, to see kina there used to be some guys. There used to be some good guys from Kisii counties. You aliendanga wapi siku hizi. Rona Magosa logged in from South B. Asante Bowen, Arab Bowen watching from Tanzania Kitale, all the best D Square. Carl de Brand, wow, I see my good brother watching from Embakasi further. Willie Kai KDH tupo site. Kembai David kazi safi. Beatrice Messi Menja, good morning. Jeremy Talk watching live from Elgon View. Good job bro. Thank you so much Beatrice Menja. Edwin Duta, good morning sir. Good morning. Jida Toa, good morning live from Mombasa. Dominic Ting watching from Nairobi, mapema ndio best. Asante sana Dominic Ting, jirani yangu mtaani pale. Siku najua uko Nairobi, nitafuta tukunywe chai. Manua Chepkero, nice media. Thank you so much. Kip Victor finally mkuu amefika. Kusikia Hilary, good morning. Say hi to our incoming senator. Kiblagat Shafat Cheleg ENG A0. Ala kutoka Isero Village, Kabisaga wa Nandi County watching live. Salimia watu wa Kabisaga. Watu wakina Asbel. Toka vile kabisa. Ben Key, good morning team Tackle, good morning to you. Kili K Alan Mudosi, good morning. Salimia Dandana, asante sana Kili. Jeff Maiwa, good morning. Jero Bitok and Tacklas tuned in. Thank you Jeff Maiwa, good to see you my brother. Olele Daniel, good morning Bitok, beautiful show. Thank you. Kiblaga Jafet Isero, kutoka Isero Village Kabisaga Nandi County watching live. Asante Odemo Muturi Anthony, Sianda Ward watching from Kiamba. Good morning. Sami Kemuta watching from Chesongoch. When are you coming down here Dan? Don't miss on 4th September. Umeitwa. Millicent Rasama Kwara. Yeah, but David, inspiration to many bro. Thank you so much my brother Kimboy. Pauline Cherop. So akuna berry media leo. Sijui wacha tuulize MC Kalia. Ishak Aden watching from Kapenguria. Kevin Arusai Rona watching from Nairobi. Andrew Kipkosgei morning live from LD. Chamge Bitok. Chamge sir. William K Day straight out of Kikuyu. Edwin Ngeti, good morning. General Bitok watching live from Ilimbe Chad Baringo County. Chepchichir Kutomeda, good to see you. Good morning GB, good morning. Peter Kiprono Petero Upper Eldoret. Petero good to see you. Petero Mambako Ningomo, good to see you my brother. Good morning. Bob KIPKORIR, good morning. Kenya not to collect with Dandan. Asante Stantuta. Other from EMC. Pongezi Dandan. Sauti ya Raia. All right. I'm seeing you guys as well in the morning. Fatima Musa from Eldoret. Thank you so much. Good morning to you. Kiptola Gatfali. Mkuu amefika. Final mkuu amefika. Asante David Ngeti. Good morning Bitok. Good morning to you. Benzimo Bakele. Siya niko ndani. David Ngeti last week. You kept us waiting with the reruns. Pole sana ndugu yangu. Unajua mambo ya hii dunia ni mingi. Pole. This week tuko ngangari kabisa. Hassan Gibbs, good morning. Kenya catching all the way from diaspora. Zero just what good morning. Good morning to you. Evans Bomer, good morning. Say hi to Dandan, incoming center 028. Leader Jemo, good morning. And best wishes to Dandan watching from Sweden. Look at the traffic situation on the roads very quickly. Ngong Road not looking very good this morning. There seems to be some traffic build up all the way from the Junction Mall, from actually Legzo towards the Junction Mall and all the way to the Kenyatta roundabout. Naivasha Road looks all crazy this morning. Kingara Road looks bad. Heading towards Kitanga Road looks not looking good at all. Kitanga Road as well is very messy, not looking good at all, and also heading towards the Valley Arcade, not looking good, and also the Oledume roundabout. Oledume Road as well is very messy this morning. Actually, generally in Nairobi today, the traffic is not looking good at all. Looking in at the Kilimani area, Olengurwane Avenue, not looking good at all, and the roundabout as well at Olengurwane, or the Tok roundabout, not looking good at all. Likoni Road heading towards Dennis Street roundabout, not looking good at all. Traffic situation in Nairobi is not good this morning. Wayakwe as well is a bit jammed up. From Westlands heading towards Musiamil, not looking good at all. Okay, let's look at Thika Road. Thika Road as well, from the Kenya School of Monetary Studies, looks all crazy heading towards the Muthaiga Exchange. Kiambu Road, not looking good at all the way from heading towards Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI. Ikai kuzuri kabisa. Langata Road, how is it this morning? Langata Road is messy. Okay. Yeah. All the way from 1824 heading towards the Timol roundabout, not looking good at all. From Timol roundabout heading towards Nyayo Stadium, bad, not looking good at all. But anyway, some little traffic heading towards Riara University, but all clear heading towards the Kenyatta roundabout with the normal traffic at the roundabout. Mombasa Road looks all clean, nothing to worry about on Mombasa Road. Outer Ring Road looks crazy all the way from Makadara. So if you can find alternative routes on that side, then the best for you. Tuangalie magazeti haraka upesi. Okay, looking in at the Daily Nation, inasema how he died. Na jamaa Pakistani, the medical journalist who was killed in Magadi, saying how he died. So if you want to read that story, please find it on the Daily Nation. On the Daily Nation again, what is the story? The story on Daily Nation is generally about the journalist. Okay, looking in at the People Daily, NHIF revives law raising premiums to top earners. If you're earning more, then it means you're going to pay more on your NHIF deductions. Beijing will not hawk loans to Kenya. Kenya ambassador sema kwamba loans hazitakuja Kenya. We will not bring it to you if you don't want it. Yesterday there was a coverage on a Business Daily on the fact that Kenya has reduced its borrowing from China in the new regime, and China is saying no, you're not going to hawk loans to you. If you want it, come for it. If you don't, basi tunakaa namna hiyo. The Star Yala bodies IPOA links police to 112 disappearances. Okay. You remember there was a lot of Yala bodies were found the other time, and we're wondering, analiwa watu. So there's a report there on the Star from IPOA. It says IPOA links police to 112 disappearances. Special unit cops detained over missing Indians charged in court. Kuna polisi pale wameweza kupelekwa kotini. You can remember that has been the development most part of this week. IPOA says its investigation directly will implicate police officers. Prop shifts to final movements of Pakistan killed in Kajiado. That's on the Star. If you want to read that story, please find it on the Star this morning. The People Daily, tough questions over the killing of Pakistani scribe. Our families are coping with rising cost of goods. Maisha ngumu pale. Leaders with Kenyan roots takes charge in the British PM. We have an Indian with the Kenyan roots as well, finally becoming the British PM. 4 insenseless rejection. You're seeing Linturi right there. We think what's Korea. No, Isa Juma pale pia, and you are seeing we are seeing Penina Malonza. Okay, you want to do that as well. You can wear the biggest brand in town. You can get wear the biggest brand in town, and when you do it as well, you get to promoters. If you want to order your hoodie, please SMS your WhatsApp your order at 779-800-010. Kwa wale pia walikuwa wamefanya order yao kama kina Jeff Mayua, your order is coming in this week. If you had made your order, then your order is coming in this week. But you can still make your order of your hoodie at only 2,500 Kenya shillings, 2,500 Kenya shillings. When you wear the biggest brand in town, you're not only a proud don't have that brand, you're not just proud of moving around with quality, but you also help us become better. So please place your order for your OD. There's a range of colors right there. Just reminding you that we're giving you an opportunity to record here with us. Please talk to Steve on the number on the poster, book your appointment. Halafu basi najua ni vipi. Every dream deserves a chance. Good morning. All right, done. Mambo vipi?
Poa sana, good morning.
Hakuna maneno?
Hakuna maneno. Yeah.
Kwa salama.
Kwa salama kabisa.
Karibu sana. Sasa tumeingia kazi sasa.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, many people know you for dressing, as we've been speaking about D-Square, where here for the last 2 years, and of course many people know you for what you do, for you dressing and all that. But anyway, you can start with a general introduction. You should never get tired of introducing yourself.
Yeah.
It's done.
Okay. People know me more as Dan. But my full name is Dan KIPKORIR RUTTO, and this is a young person who was born in the headquarters of ELGEYO, Marakwet County. That is Iten. Yeah, that is where I was born and bred. I started my schooling in Kamarin Primary School, where I went for my lower classes.
Kamarin study. Historical.
Atujafika Kamarin Stadium. Yeah, so Kamarin basically, and Kamarin Stadium by there is where we used to do our practices. By there I was to be a runner, and I could materialize.
Then you ran away from it.
Yeah. And then I proceeded to Iten Primary School. That's where I did my class 8, and I proceeded to Tambach High School. Before going to Eldoret. Alafu mi Gerald, mi nasemanga kwa masomo pia, mi ni ule mtu wa bottom up. Ama inaitwa ukarabati namna. And I always challenge people, especially with as far as my education is concerned. And Gerald, I always tell people that for me, I was never born a genius. I was an average student in class. As soon as I was done with my KCSE, I got an average mark of a C+. And I knew that was my best. Okay. And I always challenge whenever I go to schools to speak to students, I always tell them that never get the country's best, never get the national best.
Get your best.
Get your best. You get it? For me, I got that C+, and I knew that I had done my best. That was my best. Okay. And for me, I used to...
Always scared what were D- kweli juzi wakifanya vetting. Yes.
Kabisa. And by the story of Aisha Jumwa was motivating to somebody who can resonate with the common mwananchi. Not everybody got an A. You get the point. So for me, I got a C+, and that did not deter my vision to be somebody in life. yeah, that is when I started. I talked to my parents. I chose to go to Eldoret hapo. Nikaanza ukarabati kidogo. I did a diploma. I did a diploma in business administration. And you remember, I had friends who had gotten A's. I had friends who had gotten B's. And at that point, there was joint admission board, which people could proceed to campus directly. And for me, since I didn't manage and my the financial status could not allow me to go for a parallel program, so nikaongea na mzazi, and that's when he allowed me to start doing the diploma. So I started doing my diploma in business administration. And as I was doing that, remember, my colleagues joined campus directly 1 year later or 2 years later. So I started doing my diploma pole hapo, and then I finished my diploma. I proceeded to do a higher diploma in human resource management. Okay. And you remember, you come for holiday, you meet with your friends who are in campuses, who are in University of Nairobi. Wanapiga story ya hostel bwana, wewe mwenyewe utambui maneno ya hostel. So it was a motivation also to me to work hard, knowing that definitely at the end of the day we are blessed in different ways. We have different capabilities, and also we are destined differently. So I did my higher diploma in human resource management, and concurrently I was doing my CPAs, that is certified public accounts. Yeah. So that is what I was doing on the side shows. And when I finished my higher diploma in human resource management, I talked with my parents, and at least we tried to solicit some funds kidogo, and that's when I chose to apply for a degree. Okay. So when I applied for my degree, and by the way, Gerald, all this time I had a passion to do my degree since I started my diplomas in nini. So I used to make application. You make application, unalipa 1,000. So by then I made application Nairobi University, I made application University of Eldoret, Egerton University, all that. But inakuja, but now since finances were limited, so I used to look forward. So when I applied for Moi University for banking and finance, I remember my friends who had gone directly to university. So hizo walikuwa second year. You get the point? Because at that time ulikuwa unangojea like 2 years, then you join campus. So they were in second year. When I applied for Moi University, that is when they agreed me to join. And upon admission, I was surprised with one thing, that now they told me, Dan, since you have a diploma in business administration, you have a higher diploma in human resource management, and also you have at that time I had around section 3. Akaniambia, since you have these qualifications, then you are not going to join as a first year student, you are not going to join as a second year student, but you are going to join as a third year student. So you find that for me, I didn't go for first year, second year, but I went as a third year. And you remember, my colleagues at that time were in second year. So at that time, you find that in one or another. So, and then Gerald, I take this as a motivation to somebody outside there also. That at the end of the day, it's not about how you get there, but the most important thing is about the process, believing the process and going for it. So that is when now I did my degree, and I graduated with finance and banking from Moi University School of 2014. From there, I started lecturing in some college in town, and finally I lectured in University of Eldoret. And nikakuwa lecturer. In fact, at that point, I could lecture in class, and people thought that I got an A, because I was a teacher of accountancy, by the way, and law at that point. That is commercial law, business law, and introduction to law. And it is a motivation, because sometimes God can lift you from an average student to go and lecture excellent student. So I lectured, then also I applied for some job. That's when I worked with an hospital, as an accountant before taking the bold step of resigning as a chief cashier, resigning and venturing into business to where I am currently. So that is when in 2017, that is when I started my business.
That's D-Square. But even before we get there, what are some of the moments that you had while growing up? What are some of your best and worst moments, at early stage?
At early stages, number one, it was. I thank God because I was raised in a humble family and a Christian family. And by the way, Gerald, I used to I started preaching in church when I was in class 4. Yeah? So by that, I was a good student in terms of and also a good child.
You're a good child.
Yeah. In terms of character, because I was taught about character. And by the way, I'm a son of a teacher, and for that matter, a primary school teacher who was an ed teacher and also a mathematics teacher. So I was a disciplinarian at that point. So singemes kabisa kukanyanga nje. So in terms of, I cannot say that I was an average person and an average child mwenye alilelewa tu in an average family. So I cannot pinpoint that and say that we went through hardship. No, I cannot say that. Okay. So, and in terms of successes, it's about what was instilled in me that I cannot forget up to date. That and my dad used to tell me that education without discipline is like a man wearing a tie on a naked body. So you can imagine that. So at the end of the day, he used to tell us that as much as you get education, wherever you will be in life, character should maintain you there. So that is what has kept me going up to date. Okay.
Yeah. So do you say then that your dad is your inspiration? Because it looks like you have a lot of admiration for him.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. In a big way, I draw inspiration from him. He's one confident person, and also he's one person who always believes in saying the truth. Because anatuambianga, at any given situation, always speak your mind. Always say the truth. Whatever, even if you are alone, just say.
Tell yourself the truth.
Tell people the truth. As much as, and he always quotes, the only way to success or to any path in life is always speaking your mind, is always telling the truth, and always be honest to yourself before others.
Yeah. I'm a truthful man. I'm a truthful man.
My man.
All right, coming into very quickly to 2017, you said you started your company, that is D-Square, where people know you most. All right, so what inspired that, and how did you cross over to that section?
Inspiration to fashion.
Actually, to start a business. About fashion. Starting a business alone.
Okay, what made me to start a business is I had this entrepreneurial mind since way back, and I used to love seeing propagation in terms of, if today you have 50 shillings, how can you multiply the 50 shillings for you to have even 60 bob tomorrow? Because at the end of the day, what brings us down in most occasions is the fact that we like spending more and we don't have a real source of income. So what motivated me, and especially now that by the way, I used to earn, when I was a lecturer at some point, even 3,000. That is for a month, and the 3,000 could come in bits at some point. So I find that that challenged me to a point whereby, how can I multiply the small that I have? And then I used to love grooming, and in most occasions I could take a photo of a good suit or a suit that ningeenda kununua mahali kidogo, suti 2,000, unapiga picha unaweka hapo kwa Facebook. Then people could come to my DM and like, where do you get your suits? You get the point. And I used to have one suit and many shirts, so that unashinda ukibalance zote. So I used to refer people to the guy who used to sell suits, and the guy used to give me some commission kidogo whenever I refer people. That is when pushed me in Kajiambia. If I'm referring like 10 people a month to this guy, whatever I tap directly these people to make a sale to them. So it is about sourcing for this suit and selling directly to somebody. And because at the end of the day, in every situation in life, you always try to do away with the middleman for you to maximize your profit. So on Kasema, if I choose to do away with this person and source directly my suits, even if it is 1, 2, 3 suits, at the end of the day, I could maximize my profit. That is what prompted me to venture into the business that I'm in currently.
Okay. Yeah. How's it been like the last 2017? That should be around 5 years now. How's it been like?
The journey has been, I cannot say it has been smooth. It has been challenging because I started the business when I was still working as an accountant, but now the challenge was about management. And this is something that I had passion for. And in most occasions, after job, I could go there, check on what is going on. But then you cannot have two activities which are very important. This is a career, and then also this other one is a passion driven. So nikasema, at the end of the day, if I choose to continue with both, one of them could fail. Either I fail in performing my duties at work, or I fail to perform in terms of my business. So that is when I chose to resign and venture directly into the business, which at first it was a challenge in terms of limited resources, because I started as a small business. And I always tell people that I started with barely 15 pair of suits, or even less than 20 pair of suits with some pieces of shirts. I didn't have shoes, I didn't have ties, all those accessories to where we are currently. So it's something that I practiced what we call direct investment outlay. Whatever you make out of the business, you invest. You reinvest back to the business. So that's what I've been doing. And sometimes you find that people could come, you only have one type of suit, you only have one type of shirt, they don't have variety. So I find that it pushes you to a point whereby you don't have money, but you wish you can still expand the business. So growing the business has been a challenge because anything good takes time. Anything good takes some time for it to grow. So the growth has been gradual, and to where we are currently, I'm saying that we are not there, but we are still pushing on to see to it that we get to where we intend to be.
What would you tell someone who is watching you this morning and they would want to start a business? What do you tell them?
Number one, never rush. Never rush to start a business. In school, we always learn about business proposal. We always learn about a business plan, of which most people will always ignore, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of costs that are hidden in business. Because sometimes you think, and I always share a story whereby when I just finished campus, I chose to start a business, which was dealing with also clothes. And your time there were these trendy trench coats that ilikuwa imekuja tu kwa market. So nikapiga hesabu and I saw that this is a booming business. Nikaona if I get a bell and then I get a shop, I'm good to go. So I looked for a shop. I got some funds kidogo. I got a shop in University of Eldoret, that is previously Chekwele campus. So I got a shop hapo. I paid the deposit and the first installment of rent, and then I had now the amount, which was 13,000 for the bell. And when you buy a bell, it comes as a bulk. Then now you sell in pieces. So when I got the bell, now something came up that I needed license, and the money that I had budgeted was only enough for the rent and what
for the
and
container.
the bell. So find that at the end of the day, the business was supposed to start. 1 month has elapsed. I'm supposed to pay rent for the next month, and then again, I am supposed also to pay for the kanjo, that is the license, and there are some other logistics in terms of shelving, hizo zote. So you find that at the end of the day, I end up closing the business before even I had started.
So ukafunga na beli yako?
nikafunga hata before nianze. I get the point. Simply because and the mistake that I made was I started the business without foreseeing
without the foundation.
The cost that will come in the future. So I find that in most cases people would wish to have a business, but they are not aware of the costs that are hidden. So long as I have the stock, I have the shop, I'm good to go. But there are a lot of hidden costs, which at some point they run even up to 50% of the initial outlay. So it's very important for anybody before you start the business. I always challenge somebody that what if you start the business today? Are you in a position to run for 6 months?
Sustain it for 6 months.
For 6 months without selling even a piece of, or without making any sell. So those are the questions that an individual should ask him or herself to ensure that the business is sustainable, whether they make sales or not. So at the end of the day, sit down, craft a plan for even 5 years and see to it that you are in a position to run the business for the next 1 year or 6 months if it's in a bad situation. Yeah.
Okay. So I said that Dan is saying if you want to run a business, then you have to think about several months down into the business. If you are not going to make any sale for the next 6 months, are you able to sustain your business? But sometimes Dan, I tend to disagree with that because a lot of people want to start business and not there are a lot of things that I've started without actually even seeing it 3 months down the line. And it happens many times because when you're doing a startup, there's only limited resources, only much that you can master. So while it works, sometimes I also think it doesn't work. My biggest thing that I usually say is start where you can. Start where you can. If your biggest cost is licensing, for instance, and all the statutory fees, maybe, and the certificates and all that. How about you start with a business that doesn't require that? Or maybe requires less licensing.
That's true.
Because if I have 20,000 and I'm looking at a business that I would have to take off the whole 20,000 without me getting to kickstart the business, then it doesn't make sense. Or you buy the licenses, then you don't have the stock.
True.
So what I usually say is start where you can start from. Look at your costings, whatever is highest. How can you get rid of it?
Yeah, and Gerald, that draws us back.
Utakwama train coats kwa gunia.
Yeah, that draws us back to the planning, the business plan, which will also attach your budgeting, and that is an estimate of budget. So at the end of the day, if you do a business plan, and then you find that the business plan or the budgeting will cost you more than 500, and you have 200, then it means you have to scale down from where? From 500 to 200. And if you cannot do that, then you need to sit down and see where am I going to get the deficit, which is the 300 top up. So it's very important to see yourself first. What do I have? What is the initial cost outlay that you need to, and be very particular on the costs, especially even to the transport in terms of if you're dealing, to the logistics part. Because sometimes we ignore the small costs, and those are the costs that matter. That
actually, they can strangle you down.
Yeah, because sometimes somebody can just say that if I get this, I'm good to go. Then you forget that tomorrow you need to pay like 100 shilling to a border guy. You need to pay 300 for logistics, transport from either Nairobi, from wherever you'll source from. So at the end of the day, you find that those small costs is going to stretch your budget, and also at some point it's going to make you strain.
Right.
End up closing the business, or
unaanza kuvaa trench coat yote mbele ya trench coat,
unakula stock,
mbona kula mayai kwenda kufanya kazi ya mayai, wewe mwenyewe unaanza kula mayai nyumbani. Hata biashara iweze songa. Right, that is it. It's 29 minutes past 8 a.m. This is the State of the Nation edition on 25th of October 2022. We are done. KIPKORIR RUTTO is running for ELGEYO MARAKWET Senator, but gunning to replace Kipchumba Murkomen, was appointed as CS, and also is the CEO of D-Square, where, for those who have been here long enough, I think you've seen enough of D-Square. Everything, yote ile nimevaa hapa ni ya D-Square. Bado sana kitu yangu. Shati ni ya D-Square. Long is big, but gonna be hard to near D-Square. Maybe look at after you've been able to see. And Dan is one of the very hardworking and disciplined people that I've been able to meet over time. And Dan, how old are you?
I'm 31 years.
31 years. Yeah. What did you tell your 25-year-old self?
It's about a 25-year person. I can tell you that
25-year-old self, yourself. Ungejiambia nini?
What I can say is that at this point is just chew what you can at that point. Because in most cases you'll find that at 25 we have a lot of visions, we have a lot of dreams, and we have energy. But now the question is, and in general we are living in times, or what we call generation, that we are so ambitious, which is a good thing, but we are ambitious to impress.
Yeah.
You get the point? So at 25,
kuonyesha watu wewe ni mnoma.
Yeah.
Ni commando.
And that at the end of the day we end up stretching. At the end of the day we end up burning out. We end up even living 40 at 25. You get the point? And you see somebody at 40 and you see him driving well, you see him living well. You want to be at 40, yet you are at 25. The experience and the margins are different. So at 25, it's good to be ambitious, because that's the time whereby you try to unleash your potential. It's good to be ambitious, but just carry what you can handle. That's very important. That's what I can tell a 25-year-old self. Because at the end of the day, you might end up impressing, but you're depressing.
Impressive but depressing. That's what I think. Quite a lot of times we tend to, kama Nairobi. Kama Nairobi wana kila mtu anafanya vituko zake. And sometimes you're trying to be someone that you don't know what they are doing. Unakula stress, but unasema dandani yako na kampuni nguo ama anaendesha gari fulani hivi na hivi, kwa nini me and your age mates and all. Sometimes not even someone who is older than you. And that's even someone you age mates with, but you don't know what they're up to. But somehow you want to measure up negatively against them. Lakini maisha si competition. Everyone has their own race and we run it. All right, let it get in very quickly. State of the nation.
I cut you short. With regard to the same also, you find that people would wish to be like Gerald, but they don't want to go through the struggles that you have gone through. You get the point? Somebody said that you want to be like Jesus, but you don't want to be crucified.
Yes.
So you find the point that people would wish to be like the successful person that somebody is, but they don't want to go through, because the moment you see a successful person, then it means that their share of struggles that they have gone through. So the question is, when you want to be like, for example, when you want to be like our president currently, are you willing to go to the ICC? Yeah. Because that's what made him in one way.
That's what made it somehow. It's the journey.
Struggles that he has gone through is what has made him to be the person that he is today. So the question is, are you ready to go through the struggles that he went through?
And often we say, we want the roses, but without the thorns. Same way, nipe yo maua lakini toa miba. Life doesn't happen that way. So there's no miracle in this life. Everything comes with a process. You build it up slowly. And there's nothing as beautiful as a journey that you can talk about, that you can relate. Can you imagine umekuwa successful, uko na mabilioni, alafu tukuita hapa the tackle tukuulize, how was your journey been like? Dandan. Unatafuna mdomo. Yujui ni wapi.
You cannot account your journey.
Uligonga mtu kapata bilioni and all that. So I mean, the thing is beautiful as a story that you can build. So anyway, getting straight into the business of the day, the State of the Nation edition. What do you think is the state of the nation?
The state of the nation, I can say that if we look back to where we've come from, I think number one, we are making progress, simply because number one, when we talk about the economy, which is it's a journey that we are coming out of challenges that we've had from the pandemic, from the elections that we just had, and we thank God that we had a very peaceful election, because if you can remember in 2007, of which it has, as a business person and also as a young person, my worry has been violence during the elections, because we can tell from 2007 we have a common story considering
a common narrative.
Yeah, common narrative.
Almost predictable.
Yeah. If we consider where in 2007 where our economy was to where we are currently, we can see that there is gradual growth. And in 2007, considering the 2030 vision that we have, we are at around step 5, step 4, that is. So we find that we are making progress. And then in terms of the economy, as you have mentioned, we see that there is a lot of policies that are coming in place that are trying to put our nation back to place. And somebody was complaining about the reduction in fuel by 1 shilling. And I always challenge people that so long as you're making progress, it's the speed doesn't matter. So the same way, we've seen a goodwill in terms of the government trying to cushion. And but at the end of the day, as a country, for us to come out, and we are seeing the current government, they are very keen on revenues, and also they are very keen on spending. So, and as a country, with regard to the fiscal policy that we are having, I know that we need to brace ourselves also for tough moments in terms of a common mwananchi or any other person, any other citizen, in terms of collections of taxes, in terms of making your right contribution. So it's about giving Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So we have a role to play as a citizen and as well as a government, so that to ensure that we don't have evasion of taxes, we don't have avoidance of taxes, each and every person to play his role to ensure that, because at the end of the day, as citizen, we demand for services, we demand for goods, but at the end of the day, are we playing our role? Are we meeting our responsibility? So it is a challenge that we are posing out there, that let's brace ourselves to ensure that if we want growth, then we need to sacrifice. And we are happy. We had the other day the conversation about NHIF and what have you. And the country, the government that we have, it's a government that thinks about the common mwananchi. And there is what we call progressive responsibility when it comes to tax and also contribution. So we just heard that at the end of the day, the NHIF that we are going to contribute is going to be to correlate directly
with your
to
earnings,
what you are earning. So at the end of the day, it marks that everybody should be responsible in terms of contribution, in terms of the responsibility, to see to it that. And JF Kennedy at some point made a statement that don't ask what the government
can do for you, the country,
but
what
instead
you can do for the country.
Ask yourself, what can you do for the country? So as much as we are asking the government to be responsible, as much as we are asking for goodwill from the government, we need to ask ourselves: are we playing our role? Are we taking care of our resources? Are we working hard as a country? And by the way, Gerald, Kenyans are very hardworking, and also they are very consistent. So I find that, for instance, fuel, we had some times back, we had at 100 shillings, and now we have at around 180, 178. So we find that the fuel has increased, but we still have more vehicles on the road. So it means that people are working hard also. So it's something that we are looking forward to for better times. But at the end of the day, those better times should come with a responsibility from Kenyans.
All right. First 100 days, what do you think matters for the people of Kenya? First 100 days, new government, what do you think really matters? What are some of the areas that you think, you as a businessman, as a citizen, and also as an aspiring leader, what do you think matters in the first 100 days?
I think the current government is almost clocking 50 days. And what matters, and after the election, people are so worried about what to have on the table. So it's a high time that, in fact, many proposals from Kenyans, it's about just sort of basic needs, just sort to ensure that somebody can eat comfortably, can get something to eat, and forget more about the long-term projects. Just consider investing in ensuring that Kenyans, somebody has somewhere to live, somebody has something to eat and something to wear. And then, but as a nation, we have a challenge that we are having currently about drought. So find that at the end of the day, somebody should, because a hungry man is a hungry man. So find at the end of the day, it's for the 100 days, if the country can stabilize on food, on the basic needs of the common mwananchi. Because you find that the previous government, they invested a lot in the long-term projects and also infrastructure, which could not directly impact the common mwananchi. And the results of long-term projects will appear in the long term. But what as leaders should concentrate on is to ensure that the common mwananchi is comfortable in one way or another. And then at the end of the day, if Kenyans will be satisfied in terms of food, shelter, and clothing, then that is when now we can concentrate on the major projects. Okay. So it's something that we challenge the leadership and as well as the current government that we need to invest on the basic needs of the Kenyan, and also to look forward to see how we are going to mitigate the drought issue that we are currently facing. Okay.
Yeah. So for the Kenyans as well who are going through difficulty, if you can be there for a fellow Kenyan, if you can be there for a Kenyan who doesn't have food, your neighbor, if you can be there for them, please be there for them. You can be a better Kenyan. There's a time that we had a campaign that we called Kenyans for Kenyans. I don't know if you remember that, Kenyans for Kenyans. So if you can be there for a fellow Kenyan, please be there. Pay at least kama chakula ya siku moja basi. Kenyans are going through very difficult times as well. So if you can be there for a Kenyan, the better for you. Noni Belem, so I love these designs. Does he make suits for ladies? Akikwili. Noni Belem, so producer. Yeah, that is very eloquent, and I go get the very essence rising from the bottom upwards. Aishi well in the primaries and by-elections. Edwin KIPKORIR be what? Gijananga mtani pale sababu this is an inspiration to us youth. Let's dare the elective seats. We'll be there for you, Kiongozi. We'll earn votes together. Thank you so much, Elliot Biwad. Wish you all the very best. Raz Robe watching live from Kericho, Liten Jeborge. Watu wa Jeborge, good morning. Atongo Jeborge mambo vipi? Live from Kericho, Jeborge, Liten Massive. Accelerator up Keme. Junior, I'm following Gerald Bitok supporters and Dan supporters follow back. Asante. Elvis, me proud of you, brother Dan. Keep winning. Thank you. Lagat, keep good morning, Bwana Senator and Gerald Bitok. Good morning to you, Lagat. Dennis Kipchumba, morning, Gerald. Say I to all me and good friend Dan. Tunafuatilia sana from 028. Salimia to 028. We are coming in. I'll be coming in very soon to E10 to come and speak to you guys. Gladys Maina watching live from Eldoret. Go for it, Dan. Asante Reng Daily watching live from Mombasa, Kenya. Good to see you, Reng. Salimia crew. Langat Kip, Senator Dan. Pat Kipet was in Moi University. Looks familiar. Yes, he was in Moi University.
Moi University.
University, right?
Yeah, West Campus.
West Campus. Ezra MK, Super CEO Dan, a good guy. Thanks, Ezra. After Barkuto, good morning, GB, watching from Nakuru County as Mio Comrades, watching live from the village. Okay, which village? Felix Mangira, Mutai, good morning, Gerald Bitok, following from Path. Good to see you. Our guys from diaspora, from especially Australia. Thank you for always being our great supporters. It's like that Keme Junior follow back, sir. I have done that. You're very Eshikumo. GB, your inspiration to me. Help me begin such a platform. I intend to name it Logic. All right. Give a call to Steve on the poster that you saw on the screen, and he'll be able to schedule an appointment with you. I'm watching live Pale County Equalizer. As a limit to Akaricho, and I look at Kibet morning GB, very informative and full of inside debate. Liz Rockes and Sama Mimi nimekula mayote na Liz Makula stock. And I will give it about it next. You should invite me, Mr. Bito. Karibu sana. You're very watching from Butere in Kakamega County. Salimi watu samlia kwa watu wa Kajimeka. All the best to my great friend, Mr. Dan. Asante. Taps Mugo, good morning. Good morning to you. Great. Asante Chemu Chip Tap Arab Kiri. Good morning. Paul Bitok Muze. Good morning, GB Salimia Santa Dan. Praying for him. It's time for these Aslas to lead. Leonard Matthew, good morning. Watching from Israel. Wow. Good to see guys from Israel this morning. Peter C. Kembarana Mandiala Lancha Baruchi, of course. Good morning to you, Liz. Rick Rockesio. Yes, they do make beautiful ladies. So, Spirited Tano, good morning, Bitok and Dan. Bless all my guitar. Welcome to the Santa Belinda Bemeti watching from EMC. Naona Kiprono Osea Kwanet. And some all the best, my friend, watching from Adelaide, South Australia. Good to see my brother Kiprono Kwanet as well. You're doing an amazing job, Osea. You're doing an amazing job as well. Proud of you. MC Kiptabut, in the Vijanang, what happened all is well. Asante Kevin Ochoki, you guy with a good vision. distribution for residents of VMC and entire nation. Boyan blower quality. The Cape Mutai Pride Ideas, very good articulation. Jude Lele watching from Pioneer Eldoret. Benjamin so good bless you. Bitok watching from Sydney, Australia. Santa Sana Benja. James Kubai, good morning, watching live from Brussels. Thank you guys from Brussels, Germany. Robin Mwarema, great show and discussion. Thank you so much, my brother Robin. Adasa B. When are we having the diaspora edition? Diaspora edition is on Thursday, Adasa. So can be a good discussion. Fatina Musa, I'm full of supporter for Dandan, sauti ya raia. Santa Makipchumba, good morning, logged in from EMC, tunasema Simba ni moja. Dan Kipruta, Danson Madeja, pass my regards to Dandan, tuko pamoja all this way. David Ngatish, my brother, so I wonder what Akaja will do about the traffic situation in Nairobi. I think the traffic situation in Nairobi, the best solution is a metro plan. Until we have a metro connection plan, then we'll continue having these problems. And you see, the biggest problem is a build-up of public transport. If we can have a reliable public transport system, metro plan, then we can have the best movement within the CBD. We are seeing as well some level of decongestion using road links. We have a new road link all the way from heading from Ngong Road towards Langata Road at the Prestige Junction heading through Kibra, and you have the other upper link. So if we have more links within the metro and you also have a reliable public transport system, then you're able to fix the traffic. Otherwise, we'll continue having all these problems that we are seeing on the roads. All right. Dandan, tuende kwa kazi ya EMC County. There are people who are waiting to hear. Anyway, the whole this time I've known you, there's no single day you've told me that you'll ever be interested in politics. If anything, you've never encouraged politics. Kata uliniambia wacha siasa. Kumbe ulikuwa niambia niwache nikuje uombe. What made you want to run for siasa?
I'm born Gerald. Since way back, I've had passion for leadership, and I might not have had passion for political leadership, but in terms of leadership in service for humanity. And in 2013-2014, I started a movement in ELGEYO Marakwet County, which was known as Youth for Christ and Education, Y4CE. That was a movement that I founded, and I was also the chair. And we did a lot of things in terms of service to humanity. And as a person, I'm always, and to take you back to what you had mentioned, in terms of you can never have enough while somebody else is struggling. I believe in the fact that seeing somebody happy should make you happy. And by forming that movement, we did a lot in ELGEYO Marakwet County, and we traversed the entire county from Marakwet East, Marakwet West, KIO North, and KIO South. And what we basically used to do is to reach out to the vulnerable people in the society. And at that point, what touched my heart most in ELGEYO Marakwet County, and what was very memorable up to date, is there was a time in 2014 we made a visit to some old men and women in Soy, that is in Flospa. And this was a program duped Christmas Poa Mashinani. It was on 24th of December. And what we found out there is that it was saddening, because these are people that were at one point tomorrow was Christmas. They didn't know what they are going to have for Christmas. They at no point even could they recognize that tomorrow was a festive day. So we went there, and thanks to Lorna Kiplagat Foundation, we worked with her, and we managed to do shopping to more than 100 families. And these families, when we went there, the whole men and women cried. The whole men and women, they were so emotional that there could be people that they could remember them at that point in time. And this changed my perspective about life. That leadership is never about being a mushimiwa. It's never about being going to to places and you are recognized. It's about service to humanity. At the end of the day, it's about reaching out to the most vulnerable person. At the end of the day, a nation will be dictated by how they treat the most vulnerable. It's not about how they treat the successful people. It's not about how they treat the people who have resources. It's about how they treat the people who are going through challenges in life. And as a country, the greater percentage are going through a lot of challenges. So that changed my perspective about life when I visited those people. We've worked and we went to even a children's home, for example, in South, and those people are struggling. So that changed and over, I've been trying to ensure that in whatever I do, am I giving service to humanity? Am I offering support to somebody? Even to what I'm doing currently, I've been mentoring. I've been offering support to people who are less fortunate in the society, and that's what prompted me to get this the leadership position in terms of politics. And I'm not going for a Senate position for me to be a mheshimiwa. I'm not going to the Senate for me to gain a different status in the society. No, I think I'm going there to serve somebody, to serve the less fortunate, to serve the people who are vulnerable in the society. So that's what has prompted me to get into this race of the senatorial position that we're having. And I think I had mentioned sometimes back. In fact, I was to do this in 2017, but I had the conviction that Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen was still in a position to deliver for the great people of ELGEYO Marakwet County. So I'm getting in to bring a different kind of leadership, which I think we'll be discussing in a few, what I'm bringing on board. Yeah.
Okay. And we get to that. What do you think as really some of the really major challenges for the people of ELGEYO Marakwet? Ni nini unafikiria kwa hii ndio shida kubwa ya watu that you think you as a senator, also understanding the roles of a senator, that you think you can fix? What are some of the serious issues that bedevil the people of ELGEYO Marakwet?
Okay, according to the provision of the Constitution, that is with the roles of a senator, it zeroes down to legislation, oversight, and representation. But now, I think other than fighting for resources for the great people of ELGEYO Marakwet County, I am also their leader. I'll also be their leader, and I've rolled out different programs that I intend to launch in due time. Number one, if I can just mention, which is we are working with the three wards, that is Kapchemuto Ward, Tambach, and Kamarin. We are working with the MCAs. Since I have a small school of tailoring, I told them for the three wards, let them get me five students from each of the ward. And these 5 students, number one, they either should be orphaned, that is, let me just call them less fortunate in the society. They should meet that, they should be needy. Then, after having the 5 students, we are going to get, in fact, we are working on a plan to get a place in return, whereby these students will be trained. Myself, I'll offer the services of training. I'll get the lecturers and I'll get the facilitation. And then we'll train these students. But the responsibility of these MCAs, as we have agreed, upon graduation, it's a 3 months program, which will be run over the weekend. That is Saturday and Sunday for the next 3 months. And it will be starting this November. For the 3 months, upon graduation of these students, the MCAs, it will be their responsibility to provide sewing machines for these 5 students. So you find that the MCAs, either by use of the facilitation that they have or even network with friends, so that upon graduation, we are going to issue these students with, number one, the certification, and then number 2, each and every student is going to be issued with the machine. Then from there, I believe somebody said it's important for you to teach somebody how to fish instead of giving fish on a daily basis. So that is the number one, the program that we are rolling out. So the challenge that majorly we are facing as ELGEYO Marakwet County, it's a very unique county that we have diverse challenges as far as the sub-county is concerned from different sub-counties. Number one is the most problem that we have, because you find that the county is divided into two in terms of topography. We have the lower region and then we have the upper region. And it's something that we need also to push in terms of legislation, because what we are receiving as a county is less amount of money. Because, for example, the previous financial year, what we received from the Exchequer was just 3.8 billion. And then grants, we received like 1.1. And then what the county collected was only 144 million. That was in terms of revenues. So find that at the end of the day, we have a budget of around 4 point something that we need to share across the county. And out of the around 4.4 billion that we receive as a county, the governor mentioned that we spend close to 75% on recurrent expenditure. So find that the common mwananchi, the common person in ELGEYO Marakwet across, which is around 454,000 people, that is the population, they depend on 25% of the entire budget. That is around 800 million. So find that with 800 million, there is less that we can do as a county. So find that in terms of social amenities, I can just zero down to, number one, we have challenge with insecurity in the valley. Number two, we have healthcare is a challenge in terms of that is which cuts across the county, because in most we have a referral hospital, yes, but we thank God that the governor has made steps to improve the status of the hospitals that we have, because in most occasions you find that we travel a lot to Eldoret to seek medication, either from private hospitals or from even the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. Yet we can invest a lot to our county referral hospital. So find that health is a big issue. And then the challenge that, since I grew in E10, the challenge that we have is in terms of sewerage in the CBD and also the environs. It is something that needs to be looked into, and I thank the North Rift Water Works agency, which they are planning to open up in terms of sewerage system in the few months that is ahead of us. And I was seeing their proposal, which is, it makes sense. It is a serious project which will cost around 900 million in terms of sewerage, because it is a zero. We don't have, and you go to the marketplaces. At some point, they even have challenges of ablution blocks. They have challenges of space, and it is another challenge that we, especially the CBD, land is another issue. We don't have enough land for growth, and I was challenging at some point. Me as a person, I'm looking forward to a point whereby we'll be having a resource center in E10, the heart of E10. And then another challenge that we have, which is, we have an opportunity as a county in terms of athletics, as a tourism, because it is a great source of revenue, either to individuals, and also it can be which has not been exploited. It can be a great source of revenue to the county government as well as to the nation. So it's something that also we'll have to discuss about. But I'm looking forward to a point whereby the county will depend mostly on what they get as a county in terms of revenue collection. Because at the end of the day, if we keep on depending on the national government, we are receiving a less percentage of the national resource, that is in terms of GDP. So it's something that we need to overlook, what we are receiving from the national government, and look forward to what we make as a county, because we have the potential in fact, by the way, Gerald, ELGEYO Marakwet, without any decoration or without anything, is a tourist attraction site.
Bila rangi.
Bila rangi na bila filters. So it's something that needs just to, we need to trigger as leaders to see to it that how can we tap the potential that we have, because it's as the country, the constitution, we have a provision of the 3 avenues of getting resources. That is in terms of what you get from the exchequer, that is from the national government, what we get from conditional grants, and also what we get from the equalization funds. But now the challenge that we have also in terms of legislation is the fact that the definition of a marginalized area, and the constitution will at most will talk about the marginalized county or marginalized area, but we forget that as ELGEYO MARAKWET, half of it is marginalized. That is the Valley and what have you. So those are my points that we think that we need to look into, and also as a leader, I think that I'll concentrate on in terms of insecurity, in terms of health, in terms of sewerage system and sanitation, and also to look into sports as if all these are going to be looked into and maximized. I think we have a great potential as a county, and it's a county that it has a international appeal. It's something that EMC is not a county that we can just say it's grounded on the nation, but it's grounded even internationally, because the moment you mention it, then it brings a good picture. Yeah.
All right. Talking about fans, there are fans. Then there is Arabagui. Arabagui from the NBK just sent us coffee. Because about the Takola has very amazing fans. So this fan has just texted and he's like, kawangapi leo. Right. And Arabagui has been sending us coffee since the first day we started the broadcast. Interesting, right? Oh, this chap is just a fan. We met sometimes, we had a conversation, of course. Like, I want to be sending you coffee every single morning. For the last 2 years, Arabagui has been sending us coffee. Arabagui. They are fans. Then there is Arabagui from the CBD. They keep sending us coffee every single morning. Na ameniambia coffee, kahawa iko kwa barabara sasa hivi inakuja mbio sana. Fast and quick. I guess I also want to remind you that if you're on YouTube, you can support the broadcast by clicking on the stickers. You can support the broadcast by sending us the stickers. When you click on a sticker right on the comment section, you are able to support us. You can tuma kakitu. You can send something there to support the broadcast and make us better. But you also want to M-Pesa. There's a number on the comment section, 0727919322. If you want to send something, 0727919322. If you want to support the broadcast, that's how you can support it via M-Pesa. I still want to remind you that if you can see this, then clearly your next client can see it. If you can see this broadcast and you can listen to us, then your client can also see your brand and can also listen to you when your brand is being mentioned. So you can advertise by sending your WhatsApp message to the number on the screen, 0731027727. Reach out and place your ad on 0731027727, and we get to have a conversation on ensuring that your brand gets the visibility it deserves. State of the Nation edition, the 25th of October 2022. And we are with Dan KIPKORIR RUTTO, the CEO of D-Square, and also gunning to replace Kipchumba Murkomen in ELGEYO MARAKWET Senate race. All right. There are some things that have, of course, when it comes to ELGEYO MARAKWET, many people will speak about insecurity, banditry, and all that. What are your thoughts around that? Have you thought about it? What do you think is the solution? What do you think is actually the problem statement? And what do you think is the solution going forward on insecurity and banditry?
I think it's a major issue that we have in terms of banditry. And it's something that I think it's gotten to a point whereby we can declare it as terrorism, because we've had lives lost, and we can never have this as business as usual, because as much as people are looking forward to